Hey Aquas, this is your February 2023 love reading. Happy birthday to you guys. I hope all is well and that life is going easy on you. So let's see what the universe has in store for you in love this month. Let's see what the major energies are. Aqua, these are all major arcana cards. I wanted to see what was destined to come your way, or what energy is the strongest out there for you in love and relationship. Aqua. So that I don't get too long-winded, guys, I've set a timer because sometimes I can get lost in these cards and the messages, you know, just keep coming. But I definitely want to set some boundaries here with me rambling on, so to speak. So let's see what we have here for you. Let's give it a couple more shuffles, Aqua, and see if we can get the messages to pop out on their own. If not, we will just pull one. So let's see what we have here. So we have the High Priestess. So there is something that you know, Aqua, about someone or about your love life. And I do feel like your intuition, you know, has been nudging you and guiding you and giving you insight on what direction you should go, Aqua. The High Priestess is it's a strong energy. All of these majors are, but the High Priestess is you, right? You are very intuitive and you know what is best for you. Your intellect allows you to see things clearly. So whatever it is that you're going through, whether this is a change in a relationship or something you see in the person that you are dealing with, I do feel there's an energy here to follow your intuition. Don't be fooled by the smoke and mirrors, Aquarius. Be sure that whoever you are in a connection with is on the up and up. So you could be feeling suspicious about someone. You could feel like maybe someone's not being 100% honest with you, Aquarius. Maybe you feel like someone is hiding something from you and you don't like it. You don't like it. And this time around, I feel like you've put your foot down in that whatever it is that you were feeling about this person, you know, you have spoke up about, right? Because the Emperor, you know, is someone who stands their ground, someone who looks at things for the way that there is. Like the Emperor is not messing around, is he? You know, he's assessing the situation, he understands the situation, and he's just like, look, you know, either you're going to be honest with me or I'm just about to go. You know, that's how I feel you guys are viewing this situation. So you have Justice here that was hiding out when I flipped over, and you have the Hierophant here. So for some of you, you could be in a very, very close commitment with this person. But with the High Priestess here, no matter how much you are dedicated to this person, no matter how much you may be attracted to this person, no matter how much you may have in common with this person, you know, you're definitely not being fooled, you know, by the smoke and mirrors or even the show that, you know, someone could be putting on for you, Aquarius, or this is the way you're feeling. So let's see what is going on with you and the person that you are involved with. So you got releasing, because you don't feel like this person is being honest with you. You're tired, right? You're tired of, you know, plucking around. You know, you're tired of ignoring things. You're tired of playing games. You know, you're not in pursuit, you know, of trying to figure out like what this person is doing, because you're wasting your time, right? So you got releasing and you have time. So if it's one thing that Aquariuses hate to waste, is their time, right? Because you recognize that time is a thief. And while you're running around playing games with people who feel like they can play games with you, You're just choosing to let these clowns go. Am I correct, Aquarius? So you are moving on. You're moving away, right? You're tired of repeating cycles, right? You know when something is not on the up and up because the high priestess is telling you so. Okay, so this Aquarius, you know, I wish I could make this shit up, but you just can't. You just really can't. And I love the way these cards have just come out right now because they're so straightforward. You know, it's almost like someone somewhere, you know, may be feeling hopeless and distraught right now because you have finally made a decision to let this shit go. Because your higher self and your best instincts, you know, have told you to, right? Because again, with time here, you're tired of repeating cycles. And whoever this is, Aquarius, they knew that this was coming because you have one day here, you have finale, you know, you have this is like, you know, it's wrapping up, and then you have shocking here, right? So here's how, you know, I see this, right? In your mind right now, Aquarius, like I said, you know, even though, you know, this person, you know, may mean something to you, I do feel like the show, you know, has come to an end. And this may be shocking and troublesome to the person that you've probably expressed this to. And I feel like for you, you're saying like, you know, now is the time. This is time to wrap this up. You know, this is time, you know, to bring closure. You know, Aquarius, you're sending out your farewells, you know, and for some of you, you know, you coming out in this Emperor energy has shocked the shit out of them. I do feel like it was completely unexpected, whatever conversation you've had with someone, and you've been waiting to have, you know, these words or this moment with this person for a very long time. I do feel like an escalation of energy here. I feel like this finale, you know, that has come into play is something that has been working its way up, you know, in your energy for quite some time. And it's sad to say that, you know, this has, I mean, it's been, I almost feel like, not that it's been causing you any turmoil, but I do feel like whoever, you know, you may have expressed this to, or whoever has expressed this to you, because that's a possibility if this role is reversed, you know, it's really left them in a space of, oh my God, Aquarius is stepping out, Aquarius is leaving me behind. I do feel like I said, like, you know, although this has caused someone a great deal of pain, I feel like for you, you feel like, hey, you know, my time and moments are precious, and it's time for me to start over again. Yes, you got new beginnings. It's time, you know, for me to start over. Like, enough, you know, is enough. All right, Aquarius, what do we have here? Open heart. So you got beginnings here, and you have open heart. So I do feel like someone feels very vulnerable to you, Aquarius. I feel like, you know, you, to some, for a great deal of an extent, I was going to say to some extent, but for a great deal of you belongs to this person. And I also feel like you walking away from this person, you letting go of this person and moving on. I almost feel like, you know, you feel sorry, you know, about your decision to some extent, or maybe you feel sorry, you know, for them. And it may even been hard for you. But I do feel like when you communicated something to someone, like you've literally told them like, hey, it ends here, enough is enough, this is how I feel. And I feel like this shocked this person because it kind of felt like, you know, you would never, you know, say such things to them, or you would never, you know, make the choice that you've chosen to make here with this person, Aquarius, you know, because they feel like you have a bleeding heart, right? They feel like, you know, Aquarius would never, you know, let me go, or they would never tell me, you know, about myself because they just won't. You know, Aquarius won't say, you know, how they feel because, you know, they're not, you know, in touch, you know, with their emotions. Like, you know, you have withdrawn here. So, you know, you've pulled back from this person. And this may have been easy for you to do so, Aquarius, because I feel like, you guys aren't strangers to being alone, because I feel like for a lot of you, most people don't understand you. And they tend to struggle, with your decision making. When you say I'm done, and then they look at you as if you're cold-hearted and you're ruthless and why won't you give me another chance? Well, Aquarius, a lot of the times you don't want to hear that, because before you release them, you've already given them time. You've already given them a chance, and literally you're sitting back saying to yourself, one day this person's gonna F around and I'm about to step off. I'm gonna end this, right? This is it. This is the fucking finale. Like, I'm done. And when you do that, it shocks the hell out of them, right? And then you just carry on and start over again, because that is what you do best. So let's see what we have here for you guys. I feel like there was someone here that, I don't know, maybe they weren't being honest with you, and I don't know, maybe you just didn't want to deal. All right, so whoever this is, you've been with before, right? Because you have commitment here. Maybe you made a commitment to this person. Maybe you agree. Maybe you've made some promises here for this person. Maybe you've even been loyal to this person, but something has come in, Aquarius, that has changed your heart. You have conflict here, and just so you know, Aquarius, this card that came out in Pisces reading, so some of you could be dealing with a Pisces, but there was some type of conflict, like I said, that was building up over time. This isn't nothing that came out of nowhere. Like, whatever differences that has come to your awareness, about possible incompatibility that may be between the two of you, maybe not everything, but maybe there's just something or some things or some ways that maybe this person, has been displaying to you that has been clashing with your energy, Aquarius. I feel like you're just like, I can't be around this. What else here? You've definitely stepped into your true self, like your authoritative self. Like, I'm really feeling the King of Swords right now, like being clear and concise and actually making a decision. Aquarius can be indecisive, but once you make the goddamn decision, you usually stick to the decision, and so that is just that. So you have running here. So Aquarius, you may have ghosted somebody, or maybe somebody feel like you're running. Maybe somebody feel like you're, like I said, withdrawing your feelings. Maybe you're backing away. And I do feel like this person can sense that something is trying to come to a closure here. So you have clarity. You have beauty. Let's get a couple more. You have realizations. Yeah, I know you came to realization about something. That's clear in this reading. Oh, I didn't see this one over here. Oh, you have ecstasy. This is another card that came out in Pisces reading. Now, remember it clearly because I just did their reading before yours, okay? Let's see what else here. And you guys saw me shuffle these cards very well. So, oh, look at here, Aquarius, intuition. Yeah, I know that. All right, so let's just start with saying that somebody here, I do feel like there is a strong connection to. I do feel like somewhat of a soulmate energy here with you and someone, Aquarius. I do feel that. I also feel a strong sense of inner knowing. So we got running is what we have here. We got clarity. We have beauty. We have realizations. We have ecstasy. And we also have intuition here. So Aquarius, we came into this reading with intuition, right? We came in here with the High Priestess. And I had the thought of you being strongly connected, with this person, kind of like that telepathy type of thing. Like, you can sense what this person is feeling. This person can sense what you are feeling, and you're not stupid, So even though you are highly in tune with this person who, like I said, I do feel like a soulmate energy here. I did see like the devil when I was shuffling the cards. I got a good look at him, for some reason. And I do feel like there's a strong, connection between you and somebody else. And this person, may view your decision of walking away as running away. when in fact, you know, it's not that at all. And to be clear, and I think you've let this person know, because I feel like you've had a conversation with this person, and again, switch the roles. To be clear, you know, you're not running. You're not running. You're not chasing. You're just being. And that is the way that Aquarius, you do things, you know, as well as being honest about, you know, your feelings. I do feel like Aquarius, a lot of times you may not say what you're thinking. However, you know, you have no ill intentions, you know, towards a person, and you will majority of the time keep things to yourself, because, you know, you want to be graceful, you know, because you have beauty here. So you want to be graceful. But then when, you know, when you decide to speak your mind, right, that beauty and that grace kind of shocks the hell out of somebody when you come out of your mouth and be like, yo, listen, you know, like I can put up with so much, and you may take me as a chump, you know, I may not say anything, I may act like I don't know, but in fact I know. You know, Aquarius, you can be charming, but that doesn't make you stupid. You can be quiet, but that doesn't mean you don't know. So I do feel like, you know, you've, with this realization card, someone has learned about you, Aquarius, that you're not slow at all, and that you are very intuitive, and you have intuition here, that you're very intuitive and you're not stupid. So whatever it is that they may feel like they're hiding, doing behind your back and things like that, like, you know, no, think again, you know, think again. I know exactly, you know, what you're not telling me. I know exactly, you know, what you are doing. You know, why this person, you know, is all excited and, you know, like, yes, this time around, you know, I got Aquarius. You know, I do feel like there's an energy of them not necessarily being honest with you about something, you know, and that's causing you to kind of, you know, have, like, you're blocking your emotions, you know, so to speak. And that person feels like, oh, well, that's just really messed up. You know, Aquarius, you know, is holding back, you know, she or she is like walking away. You know, they're not giving me a chance, when in fact you did. You know, they just chose to play these games. So we got the morning after. So Aquarius, for some of you, you could have been intimate with this person, you know, and I mean, and I feel like that is what, you know, part of this ecstasy, you know, that is sitting here. Like, you know, the intimacy that you had with this person kind of brought this relationship to a whole nother level. Like, you really did open up their heart, right? It's this open heart here. You know, you triggered something even deeper, you know, with this person, which is making it hard for them, you know, to allow you to walk away. So Aquarius, don't be surprised if this person, you know, fights for you. Yes, fights for this commitment. They're not going to let you walk away as easily as you think you are. So just be prepared to either, you know, cut it clean, or to give this person a chance. So you got synchronicities here. Again, I do feel, Aquarius, that this is somebody that you are strongly connected with. You could see numbers, you know, and things like that, you know, are alike. You could have a lot in common, you know, so to speak. You got choices here, and you got refined also that came out. But Aquarius, back to this synchronicity, you know, I don't see soulmate here, but I do feel a soulmate here. So we'll see, you know, if anything comes out, you know, in these other cards. But, you know, I feel like whoever this is, you know, does have an issue with, you know, your nonchalantness, like your melancholy. I just feel that energy with this refined card that came out here. I do feel like for some of you, you kind of just sit back, fall back, you know, and because you're so easily, just kind of just let things go, I feel like this person feels like you may have choices, because choices is here. You know, I don't think that whatever it is that you've said to them, like, you know, kind of just letting them go, or, you know, walking away from this person, I feel like, you know, in the midst of it shocking them, I feel like part of the reason why they feel like you were able to do this was because you have choices, because you are a refined, you know, type of person. People like you. You know, people see you as good people, you know, having a pleasant, soft energy, until you cut them off. When you cut them off, you know, you guys are heartless, bitchs. But, you know, other than that, you know, people do look at you, you know, as a fine, you know, glass of wine, you know, or something like that. I could have sworn a card just flipped over. But Aquarius, it's almost like there's an energy here of, you know, this person wanting a commitment, and honestly, you really just wanting to be a friend. This is how I feel about this right now. There's something that has triggered you. So you got feminine side here. So this person, you know, could, you know, be a male, because there's a male on here that kind of operates, you know, in his, you know, feminine side, because you have refined right next to it. So this person, you know, with this glass of wine may like wine. They could be very in touch, you know, like I said, with their feminine side. You know, this person could like flowers if this is a man, or this could be a female that, you know, appreciates, you know, a fine drink every now and then, or something to that nature. But nevertheless, whoever this is, male or female, you know, it's kind of like, I feel like a change in perspective here for some reason. Oh, well, now we know why, Aquarius, why you have this change in perspective that I was just thinking about. You know, so you got free spirit here. For some of you, Aquarius, this is nothing more than that. You know, you just don't want to be in a commitment. You know, you just want to live your life. And for some of you, you know, it's in this person, and people like this person is probably the reason why. You know, you kind of stay to yourself and do your own thing, because, you know, I do feel an energy of games here. I just do. But God darn, you know, you got time out on the bottom of the deck, and you have afflicted. So somebody's going to be hurt by your decision to walk away. But what they don't realize is that the reason why you're walking away is because they've kind of pushed you in that direction. I think they are leaving a taste of, you know, just a bad taste in your mouth. And I don't know, like, necessarily what like this person has done, you know, that has caused this change in your heart, or the reason why, you know, you're releasing them here. I don't know. I really don't see, you know, what this person has necessarily done. But I do see hurt here. I see pain here. And there's an energy of you walking away and wanting, you know, to be free. And for some of you, you could be married to this person, or you could have committed or made promises to this person. And this person is feeling some kind of way, because I feel like you've gone back on that. Like, you've kind of gone within and decided that, you know what, maybe this isn't, you know, what, you know, I want right now, or ever, you know, for that matter. So let's see what else we have here for you, Aquarius, and then we're gonna, you know, kind of try to wrap this up. All right, so we have fear. So somebody is afraid, and they're afraid that you're gonna leave them. And then you got hopes and wishes. Yes, I do feel like I said, Aquarius, you are like a cup of fine wine, right? You know, you are this person's hopes and wishes. And I do feel that they hope and wish, Aquarius, that you don't check out on them. All right? That's what they're hoping, right? They're in fear that, you know, they're going to lose their hopes and wishes here. Their dream, their fantasy. Yeah, no, too many. Aquarius, I just keep hearing thoughts, thinking. It's just running through my mind. So for some of you, if you haven't initiated this finale here, I do feel like you're seriously thinking about it, or there is something that is encouraging you, whether it's something you feel about this person, or, you know, your higher self with the High Priestess here. There is something that, you know, is governing you. So you got past life connection. Like I said, I do feel like this is a soulmate. I do feel that energy here, Aquarius, for you guys. Y'all like my little headband? I think I do. Forgot it was up there with the scratch my head. You got embrace change. So I do feel like there is a change on the horizon, and you have making plans. So whoever this person is, like I said, I do feel like, because there's synchronicity here, you know, they could definitely feel that something is changing, you know, in this connection. You know, I do feel, I don't know why I feel this way, but I just felt like money. You know, I don't know if money, you know, is a factor in some of this, but money just popped in my head. But this person's making plans. Oh, you got a 4-leaf clover. Like I said, you know, this person is hoping that luck is in their favor, right? They're really hoping that they don't lose this connection, Aquarius, with the clovers here. You know, they don't want this to end. They want this to be successful for them. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, that's enough. All right, so we got holding on. Like I said before, Aquarius, like they're not letting you go. So if you think you're about to like just jump out of this commitment, let me be the first one to tell you that you are wrong, right? You know, right now this person is definitely holding on, and I tell you, right, you got illumination here. I'm bringing this to your awareness right now. You know, you are this person's, you know, dream. You are. And they're not going to let you go that easy. You know, it's almost like they've waited so long and they've navigated, you know, around you. For some of you, like, because this is a past life connection, there has been some time here, whether this is a soulmate or not. There is an energy of time in this reading. So I don't know if you've been around this person for a long time, but I feel like this person has legitimately strategized and navigated around you, Aquarius, in such a way that they don't fuck anything up. But I tell you this, in the process of doing that, Aquarius, you know, whoever this is, you know, it's been planned and they've been strategic. Make sure I don't say this because Aquarius, you know, is sensitive to this. Make sure I don't do that because I know how Aquariuses can be, you know. But at the same time, I honestly feel like for some of you, they haven't been completely honest either. So let's see what else we have here, Aquarius, for you guys. Let's see if we can get some messages from them, or let's see what we want. So it says, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. Nope, they don't. They don't want you to leave them. It says, I can't handle your love, Aquarius, because like I said, like you're this person. I mean, you bring this person alive. Most Aquariuses do, you know, bring people alive because you're energetic, you're charismatic. You know, here we are. I need to figure myself out. That's you. You know, and this is also this person. Like, they really need to go and spend some time alone, you know, and learn how to be, you know, on their own. Because right here at the bottom of the deck, they need to be by themselves because you went out. You went out. All right, what else do we have here? Why do I feel so lost? Aquarius, if you haven't walked out on this person yet, you will. And that is exactly how they're going to feel. It says, I wish I could be fully honest with you. Come on now. I just said before, it says, I wish I could be fully honest with you. They're not being honest with you. And I think this is the reason why, you know, you've decided, right, to just kind of bounce. You know, the High Priestess is telling you, like, you know, like, oh, you know, this person ain't bad, but they're hiding stuff. It says, why do I deserve someone like you? Yeah, okay, why do they deserve someone like you? You know, if they're honest with themselves, I do feel like they're asking themselves that question. Like, I feel like they're hiding behind something, Aquarius, and you know it. And, you know, and if they were really honest with themselves, they could ask themselves that question. Like, as honest and upfront and loving and accepting as Aquarius is, why do I deserve someone like you? Because I'm just hiding behind so many, you know, fallacies and things like that. I you know... Why can't I move on from you? Yeah, so that isn't spelled right on this card either, Aquarius. But what it's trying to say is why can't I think this is supposed to say move on from you. I don't know whose deck this is, but there's a lot of typos in here. I think it's a lot of typos in here. But it's okay. So Aquarius, this person is asking, you know, why can't they move on from you? Because you're the soulmate. That's why you're a soulmate. That's why they can't move on from you. Past life. What did it say? Yeah, past life connection. Aquarius, that's why this person can't move on from you. All right, Aquarius, we're going to wrap this up, right? Like I said, look what just popped out. Deception. You can't make this shit up. I told you this person's not being honest, but you know this already because that's why the High Priestess came out. This person may not even be hiding nothing major. They probably just like, they're just a liar. You know, they could, you know, been living in like, you know, these illusions, you know, for such a long time that they can't even separate truth, you know, from fact. And that's just that. I mean, again, we can't make this up. It's deception just flew out. I could sense that there was deception here. Like I said, I don't know why you were walking away from this person, but I honestly got suspected. You know, like I said, I feel like you feel like this person's not being honest with you. And there it is. So now we know, you know, that Aquarius, what you've been feeling, what the High Priestess has been telling you about this person is this fact they're hiding behind something. And you know what? If they haven't dealt with all their demons, if they haven't gone within and healed themselves, if they're dealing with, you know, traumas and stuff like that, you know, all the past life connection or chemistry that just came out in the freaking world ain't gonna save this, because you're too smart for that, right? You're too smart for that. What else do we have here for Aquarius? And we will jump on out of here, Aquarius. This is your reading for February 2023. And it says, it is safe for you to love. So Aquarius, here's the thing, right? I hope that this experience doesn't make you just completely and utterly just stay by yourself, right? Because it is okay for you to love, and it's probably even okay for you to love this person, you know, if they would come clean and stop, you know, playing with your emotions or playing with your intellect, Aquarius. I don't know why I need to get one more, but it just said get one more. So this is why. Like, again, because soulmate, right? Here we go, soulmate. I felt compelled to pull this card, and this was actually on my mind. I shit you not. And look, my number 711 is on the clock right here, guys. 711. And so, yep, this person is your soulmate, and it is safe for you to love this person, I feel. But I do feel like if this person doesn't really get their crap together, that, you know, you're going to release them, right? Because you're on the verge of it if you haven't done it already. So Aquarius, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video, and I will see you guys next month for your love and all the rest of the stuff that we're going to get into. Okay, so again, thank you. Sending love, light, and blessings to you guys, and good night.